It is not Stormkirk, it's Stromkirk Noble. I don't know why. And Nick is playing against Scott Curvan.
Right, yeah, the
Curvan,
mono red player
sorry.
is Nick Veccie, I guess is how you pronounce that.
All right,
and,
so he's on the right.
Nick Veccie is actually the mono red player. We got the names mixed.
Oh.
So,
and Scott, his opponent, is playing what looks to be
some sort of Esper control is there. There is on Burial Rites, so this could be the Solar Flare.
Does he
This
have
is what we've been calling.
He's got
Solar
Forbidden
Flare.
Alchemy, yeah. AJ Saka wrote that article this past week, a premium article on Star City Games.
He called it Neo Flare.
You shouldn't call it Solar Flare because then you make all kinds of assumptions about what it should be. All right, so Nick is on the right. He plays a mountain. Scott leads with a Seachrome Coast.
So Nick,
right?
no turn 1 or no turn 2 play. That seems bad for Nick. But he want a fast start. You want to go turn 1 Stromkirk, turn 2 Stormblood Berserker.
What kind of hand did he keep?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. It's one thing to not have a turn 1 play, but to not have a turn 2 play seems iffy.
I mean, his 2-drop is Stormblood Berserker, which you can't really run out alone on turn 2.
That's true.
So he's probably holding a Berserker here and needs to Bloodthirst it.
Fair point.
Nick on turn 3 casts his Chandra's Phoenix and attacks, but Scott has the go for the throat.
It's interesting trying to play around Chandra's Phoenix. It'd be great if you have Celestial Purge. Makes it not much of a, not so exciting. But with cards like Go for the Throat, it's almost like you need to just bottleneck them on mana. Like, okay, I know you're gonna keep getting this card, but you're gonna have to keep recasting it too. And a red deck doesn't want to keep tapping 3.
And maybe Scott also got the read on the Stormblood Berserker with no 1 or 2 drop. If he knows his opponent has Stormbloods, he wants to keep him off the Bloodthirst.
Yeah, he figures he's got a slow hand. He may as well capitalize on that.
Or he could have a bunch of these guys. Hero of Oxid
Yeah,
Ridge.
Hero is going to be... Oh, a Hero eats a Dismember. Full cost Dismember there. Paid all...
Well, that's nice for Scott that he's able to pay
exactly
the mana cost.
Perfect position right now against a mono red deck to not have to take the 4 from the Dismember or the Hero, really. So
this is a really great position for Scott.
Yeah.
Now he's going into turn 5 of Nick's turns, having taken no damage.
Yeah, this is... Nick's really got to start doing some
Here
damage
goes.
here. Is that
Got an Arc Trail, one to himself.
Yeah, 1 to himself, 2 to Scott. So that'll be the Stormblood, right? The Bloodthirst. That's what that was all about.
Oh, no,
he gets the Chandra's Phoenix back. He could do either one, actually, here.
So he
does play the Phoenix.
Okay, that's not the worst play.
Right. It's some damage, right? He's done 4 this turn now.
And Scott is out of counters and or removals, so he takes the Chandra's Phoenix.
Yeah. Here comes
Taps
5 mana for a Gideon. That's bad news for Nick.
That's strong. +2, everyone attacks Gideon. Everyone loves to attack Gideon. I feel like attacking Gideon right now.
Yeah, he's
It's a little far away, but...
So, Nick plays a Planeswalker of his own, Koth of the Hammer.
Dueling Planeswalkers here. He animates a mountain.
And he says, sure, I'll attack Gideon, hit him for 6.
And this is an interesting dueling situation. So Gideon's going to go down to 2.
Right.
But he has the opportunity to swing back and take out the Koth.
Yeah.
And then the Chandra's Phoenix will likely take out the Gideon. Although if Scott has another removal spell or something for the Phoenix and is able to keep his Gideon around after taking out Koth, that will put him in a really strong position.
Yeah, it's already right now favoring Scott, I think, but he does have to take care of that Koth before Koth gets out of hand because obviously Koth plus Mountains
looks
is bad
like
news.
He's animating.
Yeah.
Taps his Gideon.
Kills Koth.
There you go.
All right,
and does he have something to defend his Gideon
something
with?
going on here. It looks like, is he
maybe an O-ring?
Forbidden Alchemy? It looks like that's what... No, it's an O-ring, okay.
And there you go. So that exiles the Phoenix.
Right,
takes care of that problem.
Yeah. So Nick's going to have to burn out that Gideon or find something else There's no Goblin Guide around to just plop on board and take out the Gideon.
Thank goodness, too.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Goblin Guide is a
that.
great card, but
We want
it was
something
so,
different, yeah.
Turn 1 Goblin Guide was like, oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, Nick's got another Koth, so now he can animate a mountain, swing back at the Gideon.
Yeah, he can take out the... That's got to be the play here. Yeah, just kill the Gideon.
Scott's got 2 mana open.
Yeah.
He could have something.
Yeah, I don't think he does, but yeah, kill Gideon. But
Gideon
that Gideon
down.
just did a lot of work, though.
So just a moment ago, we were saying Scott was in a great position, but now Nick has a Koth, and Scott does not have the ability to strike back at it. Currently.
Yeah, at the moment he's no more creeping tar pits either. You know, we
I know
mentioned
that.
mentioned no,
without the creature lands, you don't really have something just sitting around waiting to attack planeswalkers.
I think Scott has a land, but it comes into play tapped, and he can't play that Sun Titan, or else he may be able to kind of start digging his way back in, or at least doing something to the Koth. But no, he's got something else going on here. He looks like he's
got Oblivion Rings in his main deck.
Well, he cast Forbidden Alchemy here.
He's got 2 Snapcasters, Scott does, so if he casts the Alchemy, that's going to tap him out for the most part.
Yeah, he's got 2 mana up, and he sees, I think he saw Snapcaster, Liliana, land. Hard to tell, but then it's definitely hard to tell now that they're in the graveyard with that big glare. But I think he kept a Snapcaster. So he plays a land, Darkslick Shores comes into play tapped, and obviously the Alchemy to the graveyard now.
Are those foil cards, or is that just his sleeves?
I think it's the sleeves. A lot of the, the sleeves are just so glossy when they're new. They have pretty bad glare.
Whatever sleeves Nick is using, we want more people to use those sleeves.
They could technically be the same kind of sleeves and just be just the way the lighting is in the room. Like there happens to be enough of a shadow.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
And Nick follows up with Spike Shot Elder.
Yeah, it's just poor lighting. Really, the best that we can do. It's kind of tough to control convention center lighting.
Well, the good news is we hopefully have a solution for that coming.
That sounds good to me. So yeah, Spike Shot Elder hits the board, and Koth animates another mountain, knocking Scott down to 12.
And it's like you said, we know he has that Sun Titan, but the one turn where he did not get an untapped land, had to Forbidden Alchemy and found a land, we think, is really going to cost Scott here, because Koth is up to 5 counters.
Yeah.
Threatening.
So he draws Glacial Fortress. In hand he has, well, there's a Glacial Fortress he played. He's got Sun Titan, Snapcaster Mage, and having trouble determining what those other cards are.
What's the best line here? He's got Sun Titan, he could get back.
Yeah, I don't know what he's got to get back.
He may have discarded like a Liliana to the Forbidden Alchemy.
Yeah, he did. So he can go Sun Titan, get back Liliana, make him sacrifice a guy.
And sacrifice his Sun Titan?
No, they wouldn't both sacrifice a guy. He would make.
Oh, it's target player.
Yeah, it's target player. They
both each player discards.
Yeah, exactly.
Target player sacrifices a creature.
Seems to be what Scott's trying to determine here. I think he's still in a bad position here with Koth on 5 counters.
Currently, no way to interact with an emblem in the game of Magic. We had someone try to do that early in the tournament. I don't remember what card it was. Like a Day of Judgment, maybe, or something. They said, "Does that? Can I get rid of his emblem?"
O-ring the emblem? Yeah.
It could have been an O-ring. Nothing currently, but I think it's very possible that in the future we'll see something like that. So some thinking going on.
Yeah, it's Did he make them both discard? Is that what he did? No, he did.
There's 1 counter on Liliana. So sacrifice.
Yeah, but why is the Spike Shot Elder still there?
Well, he's got open mana, so he's probably deciding whether he wants to deal 1 to Scott or finish off Liliana.
Right. Okay.
Or possibly has a burn spell in his hand, like a Brimstone Volley, and just wants to go to the dome once his creature dies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's going to Brimstone Volley.
Oh, he's tapping 4. What? Why did he tap 4?
The one was tapped. He
you're right,
cast
from the
Bite
attack.
Shot and then attacked.
It always confuses me when people like untap a land that was already tapped and then tap all of them again. Like people do weird things. I don't know. It's kind of confused. So, but yeah. So he plus one's Koth here.
Wow.
I'm kind of shocked at that too. 'Cause Scott's at 7. If Nick were to just ultimate Koth, he could take out if he wanted, like he could take out the Liliana, or kill the Sun Titan if he wanted. He's got 6 mountains. Like, I mean, I guess.
Well, no, he's only got 5.
Why didn't he have 6? Yeah, he had 6 a second ago. Yeah.
Okay, there's a 6.
Again,
so.
he was like picking up the land and putting it back down. I don't know. He had 6.
But he had the Arc Trail. He knew that Scott had to block the mountain. Right? Is that what happened? Yeah. Oh, see, he attacked with the 6 mountain. That's why I missed it.
Yeah, that's what it was. He attacked with the mountain. That's what he blocked. Scott blocked, so the mountain died, and he replayed a 6th mountain. So yes, he had.
I'm not sure. Maybe he was afraid of timely reinforcements, because it looks like he could have just ultimated, dealt 6 or 7, I guess. He played a 7.
Yeah, actually, he had the 7th mountain. So if he would have just ultimated Koth, he could have. Timely reinforcements is an instant. I don't know why you don't just go, all right, -5 Koth.
He's still in a dominating position.
Yeah, he is, but I mean...
Even his playing it safe was getting the Sun Titan off the board.
Yeah.
You know,
it was just a conservative play.
He managed to Arc Trail 2 to the Sun Titan and 1 to him, redirecting to Liliana, so that seems like a fine play.
So Unburial Rites gets that Sun Titan right back, which gets back a land.
Interesting.
Which...
does he have an answer to the Koth? Like if he had...
Right, that's the key here.
He has
passes the turn, so he wanted that land. Didn't he have Liliana? Like, why wouldn't... I'm surprised he wouldn't have...
Because Liliana
really
does
wanted
not
the land,
interact with... I guess he just didn't have anything, so... Seeing if Scott was seeing if Nick would not ultimate again, I guess, was his only chance.
Yeah, that was... I think Nick very well could have just won the turn before, but I guess playing it safe isn't the worst thing, but it did... I mean, if Scott would have found an answer to Koth right there, that could have been really bad for Nick, because he couldn't ultimate Koth or do any... he wouldn't have been able to get that emblem, and he would have been sitting there with 7 mountains or 6 mountains, nothing else on board.
I'm a fan of emblems. Like,
yeah. I mean,
no way
like
to
you
deal
said,
with it.
no way to interact with them, so...
let's take a look at the sideboards here, Joey. Scott has got...
He's got Day of Judgment, which may be a little slow, but may still... I don't know if he wants the Day of Judgment. Considering how he lost that game, how many does he have? He has 3 main. I don't know if he wants a 4th.
He wants the Celestial Purges.
The Celestial Purges are
That's
great.
easy. Even I know that.
Strangely, Ghost Quarter could help against those Koth mountains, right? I mean, does Ghost Quarter only hit non-basics? I forget. I thought you could hit any land.
I think...
yeah, just target land. So, I mean, it's kind of funny how that would actually help. He's just got 1, and I don't think he brings it in, but it's an interesting idea, right? Yeah, if he...
Timely reinforcements, another no-brainer right here.
Yeah.
Revoke Existence, we did not see the shrines.
Right. He's probably got to assume they're there, though, and, I mean, Elish Norn seems great to bring in, because that just pretty much takes all
if you can reanimate her.
Yeah. Takes all the oomph out of Nick's deck.
For Chandra's Phoenix? Probably not. I think Celestial Purge, if you save it for the Phoenix.
Right. Or the Koth. Both great targets for it. So let's see, if he brings in the Purge, I'm going to assume he brings in Revoke Existence, because he's probably got to assume that there's a shrine even if he didn't see it. At least I think I might. Mm-hmm. So if he brings in 2 Purge, 2 Revoke Existence, Timely Reinforcements, and an Elish Norn, that's 6 cards. He could also bring in Mental Misstep if he feels like the turn 1 Stromkirk Noble, or the any turn Stromkirk Noble is something, but I don't know if that's...
That was a weird game.
That was a weird game.
Nick came out so slow.
And and
This
still
might be a
managed to win.
situation where Scott isn't quite sure what kind of red deck he's facing, and Day of Judgment actually would not be that good right there because he saw, the Chandra's Phoenixes.
Yeah, it doesn't
Koss.
seem that great.
If Scott feels like he's up against a more burn-based deck, having not seen the Nobles or Berserkers, he might go for more of a one-for-one kind of trading deck.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think maybe he cuts the Dissipate, maybe, because it's just cancel, pretty much. I mean, I guess it helps against the Phoenix again, so actually dissipating a Phoenix doesn't seem too bad, but he's only got one. Let's look at Nick's sideboard real quick.
He's got an extra hero of Oxid Ridge here, full set of Volshock Refugees and Ancient Grudges, not relevant.
Ancient Grudges could be relevant because Scott does have Worm Coil Engine, but again, he didn't see that, so who knows.
One Arc Trail, 2 Dismembers, and a
Traitorous Blood. Now, Traitorous Blood will, I'm sure, come in against all these battle cruisers that we're seeing from Scott.
It seems like Nick's deck is fairly well positioned here against Scott. And it certainly played out that way in Game 1, even with what we thought was a slow start.
Hand. I don't know. I mean, the real thing was, I think, just having an extra Koth after, like, kind of forcing Scott to deal with the few threats he did have, because the Chandra's Phoenix obviously would have just kept coming back, and the hero is pretty threatening on its own. So he dealt with those, and then dealt with the first Koth, but then after that, it was just, he couldn't deal with that second Koth. It was just an overload of damage and power on Nick's side of the board that Scott just couldn't find an answer for everything.
And what Scott Curvan really needs to see here in Game 2 is a timely reinforcements. He's going to board into the full set of 4.
He's got 3 main, and we didn't see any, so that may be...
Because the really key play, I thought, was when the Sun Titan, he had to block with it, and then it got burned out.
Right.
Like, if he has 3 of the soldier tokens from timely reinforcements, it really reduces his need to block with a Sun Titan, and then even at getting a 2-for-1 with Sun Titan on his land plus burn spell, he really needed that Titan to stick around.
Even losing the Titan though, like, he could have lost the Titan, and if he had the other guys to sit there and chump block mountains, I mean, at that point actually the Koth
attacking back Koth.
Yeah, he needed to attack back Koth, but
he needs to be able to interact with Koth. And he doesn't have that much. He's got Snapcasters, Phantasmal Images, Sun Titans, and a Worm Coil. So those 3 tokens from timely reinforcements are most likely to be his quote-unquote offense.
Yeah. Well, he does have the Celestial Purge now after board.
And it's pretty relevant here that he does not have the Witchbane Orb in his sideboard slot.
That's right.
That's a card that's seen in a lot of sideboards against burn spell or burn decks to prevent the targeting. Give yourself hexproof.
Yeah, so
Possibly
Scott
get rid of a curse.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a bonus. Yeah. So Scott just goes Plains, Glacial Fortress. Nick goes Mountain into Grim Lavamancer, and now his turn 2 here is Swing with Lavamancer.
Now timely reinforcements is doubly active.
Yeah, so...
and this could be exactly the turn 3 that Scott needs to see to take Game 2.
So Spike Shot Elder from Nick after a Rootbound Crag enters the battlefield. Passes his turn back to Scott.
The other possibility is that now there's 2 creatures out. If he thinks Nick is going to go, no, he goes for the timely.
There it is.
I was thinking he might sandbag the timely and go for a turn 4 Day of Judgment. Try to get a 3rd creature in the mix.
He's going to force Nick to do something, right? Yeah, I mean, and then the other cool thing about timely reinforcements is now that we have Snapcaster Mage, like, it's fine to just burn an early timely reinforcements. Right, you just burn that early. Like, go ahead. Let him deal with it.
No red deck wants to see that. Snapcaster targeting timely reinforcements.
And he's got... The funny thing is only 2 Snapcasters in Scott's deck, which is...
but Sun Titans to rebuy those.
Yeah, Sun Titans can rebuy them.
Unburial Rights. The whole deck kind of feeds itself from the graveyard.
Yeah, I'd want at least 1 more Snapcaster, if not the full 4. I just think they're really powerful. But yeah, I think 3 would probably have been a better
So this
number,
was the
but we'll see.
situation. I was thinking if Nick has a turn 3 Phoenix, might as well just wait and wrath everything. Would have taken 2 extra damage on the ground, but you can still do timely later.
But Nick
Now
does
that-
have the turn 3 Phoenix, and now it's just flying right over those soldiers.
I mean, now Scott has to think about possibly Day of Judgmenting anyway, just to get rid of all of this firepower on the board.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is that's 3 Phoenix attacks that he's negated with that timely reinforcements, you know? Because he's not... Nick obviously isn't attacking with the Elder or the Lavamancer right now, so
Yeah.
the soldiers are holding those guys off, and the Phoenix now has to attack 3 times just to negate those 6. So Scott's still...
So he split up his
Fine right
soldier tokens. If we could get some tokens instead of dice, we might know how many are tapped and how many are
Yeah,
not.
it would be nice if we had...
Okay, so we got the
soldier
life
tokens.
total update. 1 soldier attacked, 2 are back on defense.
Yeah, so holding off those other 2. And Scott's fine with taking 2. I mean, Nick had him to 19 at one point, so he's still at the moment another attack away from being back before that time, the reinforcements. Now, it looks like in Scott's hand, he's got Forbidden Alchemy, which he is casting right now at the end of Nick's turn. And he seized O-Ring, Glacial Fortress, Mana Leak, and something else. I can't tell what that 4th card is. Maybe another O-Ring or maybe another Timely Reinforcements. Thank you for the soldier tokens. Very appreciated. So 1 is tapped and 2 are untapped, or yeah, should be 1
Well,
tapped.
now they're all going to be untapped
Well,
momentarily.
during his turn, yeah, but it's the end of Nick's turn right now.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there we go. So
And
I
Nick, I think Nick has
is that another
a...
Timely Reinforcements? Is that what that 4th card
Don't
is?
say that.
I mean,
Patrick
or
Sullivan
no,
is at home crying.
I
every
think it
time
may
you
be
say timely
Celestial Purge. I don't know.
reinforcements.
It's hard to tell. It's the card in his right hand, or now he keeps it's the bottom of the pile. I think. I know it's O-Ring, Mana Leak. Okay.
And a card.
Well, he kept Mana Leak. So.
And so I was about to say, Nick, I believe, has a Stormblood Berserker in his hand, but did not want to overload the board.
Yeah, probably pretty smart.
He's afraid of the Day of Judgment.
Because Day of Judgment here lets Nick go Burn Spell, get back Phoenix, play Stormblood Berserker, or whatever. Yeah, so this is almost as good as a
Gideon.
Day of Judgment in a lot of ways. Because now he's going to make them attack. He's going to wreck the 2 dudes. Okay, so Nick has to...
He spike shots a soldier.
Yeah, spike shot a soldier, so now at least there's only going to be 1 soldier available to block, I think.
Yeah,
Because he's going to
if he-
spike shot another soldier, and
And
then...
his graveyard's empty.
Right, so the Lavamancer is doing absolutely nothing.
This is the thing with Grim Lavamancer, is that it's much less effective without the Zendikar fetch
The
lands.
fetch lands are huge. So, Nick taps 2 for something. We haven't figured out exactly
It's
what.
got to
and he
be
did-
Arc Trail.
He played a... that would be good for Nick.
Maybe Arc Trail's
There
1
it is.
soldier.
So,
Oh.
1 and 1.
Go to Arc Trail 2 to Gideon, and maybe... Is it going to die anyway? 1, 2, 3, 4... So is it 8, takes 4, he's down to 4. If
Yeah,
he
it
had
wouldn't-
spike shotted the soldier instead of arc trailing it and deal 2 with the arc trail to Gideon,
Gideon would have been at 3.
Would have been at
it was
2.
still... Would it have been 2?
because 2 from arc trail, 2 from Phoenix, and 2 from the 2 attackers. It's
Okay,
6.
okay.
But you got to do as much damage to Gideon
Right.
as possible. Got to maximize your damage.
Nick very correctly playing around the Mana Leak with that Arc Trail, too. And so Sun Titan will make some
So
make
now
some
we
stuff
might see what
happen.
he discarded earlier. O-Ring for the Phoenix.
Now Nick could possibly like burn his own Phoenix
Could.
to just, you know what I mean, because he knows that's what Scott was going to hit. But I guess it's not like an optimal play or anything. But
Probably
you know.
going to deal 1 with the spike shot to Gideon. And now he's just suiciding guys
Yeah, he has to.
into the
But
Sun Titan.
now this is interesting too because of Brimstone Volley. It's probably not so bad for him to be suiciding guys. I mean, it's not the worst thing. He could go,
That's a good point.
attack into Gideon because I have to, Okay, Sun Titan kills one of my guys. Brimstone Volley. You know, Brimstone Volley the Sun Titan. Or Brimstone Volley Scott, either one. But I mean, you can kill off the Sun Titan with a Brimstone Volley if the Sun Titan blocks one of those guys.
So it's a situation where being forced to attack can cover for
It could actually help
a bluff.
Yeah, and
Or a non-bluff, I guess.
we'll see if Scott actually would play around a Brimstone Volley, because if he's aware of it, that's exactly, you know, he just won't block. And
But either way, that's 5 on Gideon now, right?
Yeah, I think so. There's a cough from Nick. So Scott unable to do anything about that right now. Nick is
Thinking about which ability to activate on Cough.
I would think you just
+1 and swing in?
Yeah.
What does that get you? He's only got 2 mountains.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
kind of relevant if these mountains keep dying.
Yeah, it's actually true. The Koth isn't so scary when it's only root-bound crags on the other side of the board. So that's really interesting. What 1-mana red burn spells are there that he could use? Because if Sun Titan blocks the mountain,
There's shock.
yeah, right?
Like, that's all you got now.
That's about the only thing I can think of. Yeah. So he may have it. So Sun Titan kills off that mountain. And nothing. So Nick isn't able to do anything about that. Koth is not scary at all, actually, right now, because
That was a rough turn.
that was. He obviously didn't have the Brimstone Volley. Well, once he cast Koth, Brimstone Volley wasn't even an option that Scott had to worry about, because he didn't have the mana to cast it.
So you think it would have been better to not play Koth, attack with the 2 guys, bluff the Brimstone Volley, and maybe see if he doesn't block the Sun Titan?
I think that would have been good. I don't know what's in Nick's hand, but at least Koth is just not scary at all. What did he just... Oh, there's timely reinforcements.
But he doesn't even gain a life. I guess 3 soldiers is enough here.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
3 dudes.
Seriously. So Sun Titan took out Koth, and I guess there was nothing to return, or was it just land did he get? I missed what he got back with Sun Titan. It may have just... I don't even know if he had land to
Looks
get
like
back.
a land. He's got 8 now, so he's...
Yeah, it probably was land then, because did he play the Sun Titan last... Yeah, Sun Titan was last turn, he was tapped out, so if he's got 8 lands now, that is what he got.
If you're in booster draft number 7,
That's pretty brutal.
event is ready to begin.
I mean-
Booster draft number 7. Please
I think this game is moments from being over.
The funny thing, I actually wonder if it would have been better for Scott to ignore that Koth for the moment, especially if he was going to be casting timely reinforcements, because the timely reinforcements could have just killed off the Koth. Why not get in there with the Sun Titan?
And get 6 to the dome?
Right, 6 to the dome, because then he casts timely reinforcements, because he's not gaining the life either way. Like, the life total wasn't the situation. Then he's got 3 guys there that Nick either has to burn away, and Koth isn't so scary when there's only 2 mountains around, and one was going to get blocked by the Sun Titan anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, if he wouldn't have used Koth's emblem at that point, because it would have been...
Brimstone Volley? One time?
Yeah, this might actually...
So what happened is Grim Lavamancer tapped to deal 2 damage to Gideon.
Seems
And then
like
Spike
the play.
Shot Elder was forced to attack.
Right, and Sun Titan blocks. So Nick now has to...
No
he just scoops
Brimstone
it up. No
Volley.
Brimstone. So
He saw
how
the
many
writing
did
on
he
the
have?
wall.
He's got 4 main, so I don't know that he would board those out. Like Mike and I have been talking all day about how good that card is and how much it changes things.
It's 5 damage
Yeah,
for
I mean,
3 mana.
And creatures die all the time. And being
What-
able to, like in that case, I'm going to swing in, whether Gideon was there or not, but I'm swinging in with the little guy against your big guy. What do? Do you
if
block?
you're a deck
you
like
almost
this,
don't wanna
eventually
block.
they have to kill your guys. Otherwise they die to your guys.
Right, exactly. Like, okay, it's like, fine, my dude gets in, great. Like, right past your vigilance. Like, vigilance is totally irrelevant if you're not going to block. And just the threat of Brimstone Volley could make it so Nick is able to just keep getting in with small guys. So,
In the past of Magic, what have we had that is this efficient with damage?
Shrapnel Blast, Goblin Grenade. I mean, I'm just thinking what's doing 5
Yeah,
for
those
cheap
are similar.
for not Lava Axe mana. You know, there's Lava Axe.
Char was 4 damage.
Right, and yeah, I mean, Psionic Blast, oddly.
Flame Javelin for 3 mana could do 4 damage.
I like Flames of the Blood Hand.
4 damage plus no life
Plus
gain.
no life gain. I would love that when people would cast the locks it on Hierarch. And, and so it's an instant, and it was 4 damage to target player. So they'd cast like locks it on Hierarch, and then you just respond by burning them for 4, and they don't gain the 4 from the Hierarch. It was it was awesome.
Nice 4/4.
Yeah. Like totally.
So they both these players are kind of going back to their sideboards. They look through and maybe change some stuff up. They might have seen some things that they didn't see game 1. Or it just could be a player draw thing. You want to change up your deck a little.
Yeah. So one thing that's it's interesting over the past couple months, we got timely reinforcements in M12, and it was clear like how strong that card is, and it still is. I'm not saying it's not anymore, but it was people kind of figured it out. It was awesome, and people were playing it. And then the red players figure out, okay, Hero of Oxid Ridge to fight it, and then they print Snapcaster Mage, which not only flashes back the timely reinforcements, but also blocks Hero of Oxid Ridge perfectly, right?
Oh, wow.
They're like Hero of Oxid Ridge to trump your 3 tokens, and then they go, flash in Snapcaster, block your hero. So like it becomes, even if you don't flash anything back with Snapcaster Mage, just trading off for a hero, it's just kind of nuts how that I just love that interaction, at least as a player who's going to be playing timely reinforcements alongside the Snapcaster Mage. Now, if I were a mono red player, I'd probably be pretty frustrated with that
I think
kind of
it's
thing.
interesting that Nick, the mono red player, was able to win game 1. I mean, Scott did not have timely reinforcements, but it's also the way he had the slower draw.
Yeah, Nick didn't have the optimal start. Yeah.
But that may have been the optimal start against a timely reinforcements deck, is to not play 1 and 2 drops.
Yeah.
Because that just enables timely reinforcements.
Exactly, yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Like, do you want to go and become a slower burn-based deck rather than kind of a creature deck that finishes with burn?
Yeah, it's kind of cool, though, to see how all the colors have their identity and how you can go something like mono red that's going to say, I'm going to win before you can dig your heels in. But if I don't, I lose. Like, I love that all these colors just have, like, their kind of, just their personality. And with game 1, we saw mono red just, blaze in and kill him. But actually, yeah, after the slow start, it was just, now that I think about it, game 1 was not at all indicative of mono red.
And in game 2, we have to wonder, Nick Vecchie's choice of 4 root-bound crags to splash his Ancient Grudges. Is that the right call in a deck with Koth? Because he had 2 mountains and 3 root-bound crags.
Yeah.
And if the game had gone much longer than that, it's possible he could have run out of mountains.
Yeah, and Koths would have been
Or even
terrible.
if you get an ultimate off, you only have 2 or maybe 3 mountains at that point.
It just didn't look that great, but so Nick leads with a Spike Shot Elder. So that's a turn 1 that you want from mono red. When
I know, playing right into timely.
I mean, it's there though. You need to either exhaust them, you need to fight through them, or hope he doesn't have them. Kill him before he gets the timely reinforcements, like game 1. And turn 2, the Berserker, right?
No, this is Stormblood.
Berserker. I almost called it.
And that's the worst part, is one is Storm, the other is Strong.
Stormblood Berserker.
2 creatures. Chandra's Phoenix are coming. No Phoenix. Dismember, paying 2 life. So he takes 1 less damage by killing the Berserker.
Yeah, but gets it off the board for now anyway.
Takes 1, 2, 3 to go to 16. Shrine maybe, or just a Brimstone volley to 5 to the dome. There's a Shrine. Something we have not seen in the first 2 games from Nick. Do it. Timely reinforcements. And if he doesn't have it, what kind of hands are you keeping against mono red? Oh, a hand with Day of Judgment.
Yeah,
that's valid.
That'll help. He's got Unburial Rites as well in hand. Can't quite, and there's a Sun Titan. So if he's able to, well, he can either Forbidden Alchemy, if he has one, into something to get that Unburial Rites live.
But this is a situation that you highlighted. You said that Scott Curvan has 2 Revoke Existences in the sideboard. That's his only possible. He's got Oblivion Rings, but extra answers for the Shrines, which he did not see in the first 2 games, so he might not have brought in the Revokes.
So Nick gets in with the Spike Shot Elder and passes back. So no play from Nick. He's just content to lean on that Elder and the Shrine for right now, it looks like. And so we have an Isolated Chapel, I believe, from Scott.
Surprising how solid Spike Shot Elder is in this situation, even without the Power Pump. Just tapping 3 to deal an extra damage is getting a lot of value here. End of turn. Incinerate you. Could take into, yeah, but make sure you tick up your Shrine.
Yeah, this is not a May ability, which is good for the Shrine players, right?
I forget all the time.
Yeah.
I forget on MTGO. Like the computer reminds me. I'm like, oh yeah. Ooh, sweet,
thanks
extra
for
damage.
reminding me, MTGO.
Extra mirrors.
So again, Nick gets in with the Spike Shot Elder. Scott is playing Think Twice, I believe.
No, that's Snapcaster.
Or is that Snapcaster? Okay. The art is actually kind of similar. I've had situations
but that's
the arm,
the gun or whatever.
Yeah,
it looks like
is.
some kind of.
It's kind of like a gauntlet kind of looking thing.
Sci-fi magic gun.
This can't be a gun because magic doesn't have guns. Okay. Why would he flash in
a mechanical weapon?
Unless he wants to rebuy that Doomblade that badly. I mean,
you mean Dismember?
I mean Dismember. That's what I meant. Because Nick can just ping the Snapcaster.
But that'll tap him out, and then can kind of reevaluate.
Yeah, so it was my mistake. I thought it was Think Twice at the end of Nick's turn. So what it actually was I think during combat, he flashed in the Snapcaster to force Nick to pay 3 to do it or trade the Elder. So.
And he's gonna Dismember.
Yeah, so he's like, one way or another, I'm dealing with your guy.
So he pays 2 more life. It's not the worst exchange, but long term he is going to need a solution against a Shrine. And as mentioned earlier, Scott Curvan does not have the Witchbane Orb to give himself hexproof. So his O-rings are almost exclusively going to have to go to those Shrines.
Yeah. Or Revoke Existence, if he kept them, if he used them.
There,
so there's an
there
O-ring. So that was what his plan was. Tap you out so you can't activate the Shrine in response.
Yeah. He had a plan, it played out.
Very good plan, yeah.
Now Nick needs to remount some kind of offense. A Koth maybe.
Yeah, that's a Brimstone Volley
for 3, so follow up with a Berserker. Sometimes you do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And now you have to wonder about that Incinerate earlier that he just incinerated 3 to the dome.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been much better here to use the Incinerate and hold that Brimstone Volley to get max damage.
Absolutely. So now Scott has the opportunity to Day of Judgment away it's not the... Yeah, it's a 1-for-1. It's terrible mana trade there, but
Nick's only got the 1 card in hand. So keeping the board clear and not going to 4. Because if you go to 4, you're just dead to another Brimstone, which may be what Scott is thinking he has.
Trouble. So there's a Brimstone, that's exactly right. So it's just for 3. He does go to 4.
He's got the same combo.
There's the Berserker. So Scott is hard pressed to find something here. He needs. Yeah, he
holds it up. We can't see that,
and we can't see it. It was a Gideon, which is actually pretty awesome.
That works.
I saw it. He didn't hold it very well to the camera, but I ended up seeing what it was. So it was
we
Gideon.
Appreciate the effort.
Yeah, definitely. I think he was showing it to us before he looked at it himself.
Oh,
I don't know.
Part of the cards.
Really tell. But yeah, so Gideon.
Gideon.
+2, pass a turn. Stormblood Berserker swings at Gideon. Gideon's got to take out their Berserker, I guess. Just
Scott would like to see a timely reinforcements just to get out of
certainly would,
burn
yeah.
range here.
He has not cast one this game, so Snapcaster doesn't do much.
4 life is better than 3, but you're still very nervous. If Nick has the 3rd Brimstone volley here, then killing the Stormblood with Gideon is just going to lose you the game.
That's true, yeah. That's really scary. John.
But you got to kill it.
John Medina, 5-0.
He's not just a traitor, folks.
No, we were making fun of him this morning, and then all during the feature match, and he's 5-0, so he's making us eat our words. What is that? Is that that's the Stromkirk Noble. The new Noble, but not the Hierarch.
So Scott chose not to kill the Berserker with a Gideon.
Right.
Playing around the Brimstone, but you can't play around it forever.
Right.
Like eventually, I think that was a mistake. I think you got to kill it as soon as you can.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think he should have killed it.
Because at that point, Nick's not going to burn out your Gideon. He's going to burn you out.
Right.
But we'll see what he gets off of Forbidden Alchemy. Possibly that timely reinforcements he needs.
Yeah, I think it may be there. It's funny how I move as if I could see better but the camera angle doesn't change.
When you
right?
play a racing game,
right,
you
yeah,
turn,
you're
you're always shifting side to side. Well, he put a timely in his graveyard, so he must have put another in his hand.
So he was noted on Twitter, which I think is probably right. Planer Yoshi tells us he was playing around Koth, which makes sense because if he kills the Stromkirk Noble, then Koth just untaps a mountain and kills Scott. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So could have been playing around Koth. Definitely makes sense.
But if you, yeah, okay.
He's much more likely to have the first Koth than the third Brimstone volley, I would think. There's timely reinforcements.
10 life is better than 4, as is 3 soldier tokens.
Yeah, this is now. Are the soldiers are they human soldiers? No, they're just soldiers. They're just soldiers. So inhuman soldier tokens there.
Oh, for the noble.
Yeah, for the noble, right. I was thinking
the noble
about that,
can't be blocked by humans.
Right, but apparently those soldiers are superhuman, subhuman, inhuman, sorry. They're more human than human, but they're not quite human.
They are just indeterminate race soldiers. Oh, did he draw the Koth or did he have it? Because so maybe that was correct to play around.
Yeah, so I see Sun Titan in Scott's hand. Not sure what the other 2 cards are. I think there's an Unburial Rites and something else.
Animate a mountain, get in there.
So is that everybody at Gideon?
Yes. Gideon says, "Come at me, bro." Does he think that they're humans? So you've confirmed that those are not humans.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. But the other thing is the noble doesn't pump because it hit Gideon, not a player.
Well, now, what do you need to do if you're Scott?
I think he has Snapcaster, actually. So he Snapcasters timely reinforcements. Yep, here we go.
Or a Day of Judgment?
Or a Day of Judgment, but timely reinforcement seems good, too. I mean, yeah, it's Day of Judgment, okay. That'll work, I mean...
And then Gideon
now
takes
he kills
out Koth.
right. Yeah, that'll work. That's probably better than timely reinforcements, as much as I want 6 life and 3 dudes. So we saw something like this earlier, where Gideon took out a Koth.
When planeswalkers fight.
Yeah.
Okay, and they correctly
when animals
pointed
attack.
out Day of Judgment is flashed back, so make sure to exile it.
Yeah. So if Nick can follow up with a second Koth like he did in Game 1.
But Gideon is at 5?
Gideon's at 5, yeah. So he couldn't necessarily take down the Gideon unless he has a shock or not. He doesn't have shock, but he's got gut
shots.
So there it is, second cost. Does he have gut shot?
Does he have the gut
Does
shot?
he have the gut shot? Attack
Show
Gideon?
it to us.
Is he attacking Gideon or Scott? It looks like he's attacking Scott.
Oh.
Because are they going to the life pads? Yeah, he attacked Scott.
Going to Race Town.
So Nick is fine with Gideon just killing Koth here, I guess?
That's really... Well, if he did not have the gut shot, then what other choice does he have?
That's true. Right, if he didn't have the gut shot, that was probably his best play. Play 4 mana for 4 damage, basically.
But I think you still want to get Gideon down, so if you do draw gut shot, arc trail, incinerate, anything, spike shot elder, like if you get Gideon down to 1,
Yeah.
because it's forced to swing back at Koth.
Depends on what he... Traitorous Instinct. That will be game.
What is...
Or
is
traitorous...
that
what is it? Traitorous Blood. That's
Blood?
what it's called. There it is. Nick Veccie has the Traitorous Blood for the Sun Titan to swing in for exactly 6 and kill Scott. That
Holy
was
cow.
the one
That's a one of